Imagine an archipelago scattered like jewels across the Mozambique Channel, floating between the coast of East Africa and the island of Madagascar. This is the Union of the Comoros, a nation often whispered about as the Perfume Isles. It is a place where the air itself tells a story, thick with the scent of ylang-ylang, vanilla, and cloves. But beneath this fragrant surface lies a history as volatile as the volcanoes that formed these islands, and a culture that is a breathtaking mosaic of African, Arab, and French influences. To understand Comoros, you have to understand its geography. It is made up of 3 main islands: Grand Comore, Moheli, and Anjouan. There is a 4th island in the archipelago, Mayotte, but it remains a territory of France, a point of deep political tension that has defined the region for decades. These are volcanic islands, and on Grand Comore, the massive Mount Kartala looms over everything. It is one of the most active volcanoes in the world, a dark, cratered giant that reminds the people every few years that the earth beneath them is alive. The history of Comoros is a history of the Indian Ocean trade winds. For centuries, these islands were a crossroads. Shirazi Arabs, African traders, Malay sailors, and European explorers all stopped here. This created a unique society where the majority of the population is Sunni Muslim. But the social structure retains deep roots in African matrilineal traditions. It is one of the few places in the Islamic world where land and homes are traditionally passed down from mothers to daughters, and where the Grand Mariage is the ultimate social milestone. The Grand Mariage is more than just a wedding. It is the central pillar of Comorian life. Especially on Grand Comore, a man can spend his entire life's savings, and the savings of his extended family, to host a festival that lasts for days, involving the distribution of tons of meat and gold to the entire village. It is an economic redistribution system, a rite of passage, and a way to earn the title of notable. In Comoros, your status isn't just about what you have, but about how much you can give away to your community. But the beauty and tradition of the islands have often been overshadowed by political instability. Since gaining independence from France in 1975, Comoros has experienced over 20 coups or attempted coups. For a time, it became a playground for international mercenaries, most notably the Frenchman Bob Denard, who seemed to appear in every power struggle for 30 years. This coup clutter earned the islands a reputation for chaos. But it also forged a people who are incredibly resilient and deeply connected to their local villages for security and identity. Economically, the world depends on Comoros more than it realizes. If you have ever sprayed an expensive perfume or eaten a high-end dessert, you may have tasted or smelled the labor of a Comorian farmer. They are one of the world's largest producers of ylang-ylang, a yellow flower whose essential oil is the heart of fragrances like Chanel No. 5. They are also a major producer of vanilla. Yet, despite these luxury exports, the country remains one of the poorest in the world, struggling with infrastructure and a brain drain, as many of its citizens move to France in search of opportunity. In fact, there are more Comorians living in the city of Marseille than in the Comorian capital of Moroni. The natural world here is just as unique as the culture. Comoros is the home of the coelacanth, a fish that was thought to have gone extinct 65 million years ago with the dinosaurs, when a living specimen was found in the waters off these islands in the 20th century. It sent shockwaves through the scientific world. It is a living fossil, a reminder that the deep waters of the Mozambique Channel still hold ancient secrets. Visiting the capital, Moroni, feels like stepping into a different era. The Old Friday Mosque stands right on the edge of the sea, its white minarets contrasting with the black volcanic rock and the turquoise water. The narrow alleys of the Medina are filled with the sound of children reciting lessons and the sight of women wearing kairamani, the vibrant, patterned traditional cloths, and ms indanu, a yellow sandalwood paste applied to the face to protect against the sun. Comoros is a place of intense beauty and intense struggle. It is a nation of poets and farmers, of ancient mosques and active volcanoes. It is a reminder that the world is much larger and more complex than the headlines we see. It is a place that has been shaped by the sea, but never conquered by it. In a world that is becoming increasingly homogenized, Comoros remains stubbornly itself, a fragrant, complicated, and fiercely independent crossroads of the Indian Ocean. When you think about a place like Comoros, does the idea of the grand mariage, spending everything for social status, seem like a beautiful communal bond? Or does it sound like an impossible burden for a developing nation to carry? Thanks for watching.